Inside your bedroom, we stopped counting the days, lost in the rhythm.
Hi, hello. My name is Amy Prokopis, and I am a paranormal romance and romantasy author of 10 books. Woo! If you're watching this, you may have watched the first part to this kind of recap of my 10 years. I'll make sure to link it below, put it in the card, something. I'll link it somewhere. But if you're watching that, it likely means you've already heard about my career so far, and you were curious about some of the 10 things I have learned along the way. So I originally filmed this video all together, and it was so long, I decided to split it apart because it was technically in two halves anyway. So this is part 2 to that video where I talk about the 10 lessons I learned along the way of publishing 10 books. So these are not all the lessons, obviously, but these are some of the 10 things that have really redefined my career and helped me move into this new transition as a new young adult, from young adult to new adult in spicier books, and how I am growing as an author and working through that transition into the new realm era of Amy Prokopis publishing. So let's get into it. Here are 10 lessons I learned from publishing 10 books. First, you don't need a big social media following to gain traction and to sell books, but it does help to have some really obvious branding. That can help a lot. It will tell people what you write just looking at it, who you are, and people will be able to recognize it as yours, and it will look super professional. I think what matters a lot to people online is knowing that you're the real deal, that you mean business, and you should look the part. And speaking of meaning business, from the very beginning, before you even publish that first book, treat it like a business. Get an LLC. I highly recommend getting an LLC. Get a business account, put all of your book money in that place because one, it's protected under the LLC. If somebody sues you as an author, they cannot take everything from you. They are taking your book money, unfortunately, maybe, but it is not you as the whole. So LLC, look into tax implications with that as well. And sales tax, if you are going to go to any event where you are going to be selling a book, remember you are also selling a product, so you have to pay sales tax. So know what that means, but treat being an author like a business. Be very business minded. Look at what counts as business expenses. That's why I highly recommend having an LLC, because it's easier to track your business expenses. When they are separate like that, it's just easier to have the separate accounts. But before you even get started, this is a business. Treat it like a business. This is a common one. Don't read your reviews. They will likely hurt your feelings at some point. And definitely don't respond to the unfavorable ones. Respond, share the good reviews people tag you in online. I'm not a fan of tagging authors in negative reviews online, but I am of the mindset that if somebody does that, I will politely keep scrolling or untag myself if that is something I can do on a social media platform. Just untag myself, but I just don't reach out. I don't bother. I find it causes more discourse, and it causes your name to go out there and to be discussed for things that I would rather not it be discussed for. I don't want people to be talking about that. I want people to be talking about my books and my writing, and I want my community and the people around me and my readers to feel comfortable, and I just choose not to respond. So don't respond to the negative reviews, and don't take them to heart either. This is the next one. Number 4, develop thick skin. So not everything needs a response, and not all criticism is fact. So learn to take criticism. When people do tell you, or you do hear about a bad review, be open, to what they are saying, but also know that for some people, their reviews are simply their opinions, and not everybody likes tea. Some people like coffee. So you're not going to be everybody's cup of tea. You're not going to write books that are for everybody. I've gotten reviews that were unfavorable, and just about all of the time, it's somebody's personal preference. So know that going in, when you read something that maybe isn't so nice about you, try not to think the worst first. Think about the best is not what exactly I mean, but consider all sides, that some people are just not going to like what you write, and those are not the people that you're writing for. Those are not your people. Just politely move on. The next one I have to remind myself about quarterly, and that is that the overnight success stories, where they're going to be flat out in your face. They're going to be all over. You're going to see and hear all the time about the authors who post a TikTok and blow up overnight, and now they're a full-time 6-figure author. But know that those people are a dime a dozen. They are not the norm. They are a diamond. They're not normal. They are not normal. And yes, they work very hard, and I'm sure most all of them have done so much work behind the scenes, but there are also a lot of other factors to that. Some people have been working really hard, and then they're an overnight success because they got lucky. Would they have blown up in the long run? As long as they continue working and publishing books, yes, I believe they would have, regardless of how they got big. As long as they continued to put the work in, and that is the same for you. So just because these people are in your face that only have a couple books and have blown up overnight and are gigantic authors, full-time authors, that does not mean that you cannot have the same success. It just means that as long as you keep at it and you keep going and publishing and learning and growing and refining your craft, putting in real work at growing and getting better, not just publishing to publish, get better at it, you also will achieve the same success. Maybe just not overnight, because again, most people don't. And you also don't want to blow up overnight. You don't want to flood the well, essentially. And that's what you would do. You don't want to flood the well overnight and then have to try to figure out where all the water goes. So slow growth is better in the long run. Not all authors get big overnight. Write what you feel pulled towards, because if you're writing stuff you don't feel really connected to, your readers can tell. There is a lot of discourse about writing to market and writing what sells, and I think you can do both. I think you can write trendy books that are doing well on the market, but do them in a way that you enjoy. And if you are an author that the particular trends right now just are not hitting with you, you don't particularly enjoy them, don't feel like you have to write them, because there are also readers out there for you that are looking for whatever you're writing. Just know your audience, write for those people, make it clear you're writing for those people, and write the story you want to tell, because in the long run, those stories are better than the ones you force yourself to write. Back up your work. Because if anything, it is poor man's copyright. If you upload an early draft somewhere to, like, I put it on my Google Drive, if you print out an early draft and timestamp it, whatever it is, it's a poor man's copyright, because it's proof that you have an early draft of this book. It's proof you wrote it. All of that, keep that. But obviously, also back up your work, because you never know when you might have to go back to an early draft, make changes or amendments, update back matter, all of those kinds of things. Back up your work. Just like with the blowing up overnight, you're not going to be an overnight success. Celebrate all of those teeny tiny goals. Set small goals in achievable margins. Don't set these gigantic goals. Like, set an income goal. I want to make this much money, and then break it down into smaller goals. I need to make this much per month, and then this much per week and keep it small. Honestly, my method and what I actually recommend to a lot of my clients even is set your goals a little bit smaller than you think like you should. So set the big goal and then refine it and set the smaller goal. And the smaller goal is the one you are putting your effort into and focusing on because one, it's achievable, and two, you will probably hit it a whole lot faster. And then three, you're gonna celebrate the hell out of it because it's highly motivating and it makes it so much easier to then think about the next big goal when they're in teeny tiny increments. So set small goals and celebrate them. Next thing is the cheapest, especially when you're getting started, the cheapest way to market your book is by posting about it on social media because it is free. And that is what I highly recommend, especially for newbie authors. Use the free methods. So posting on social media is one of those. You don't have to pay for that. However, a lot of people, when they're starting out, feel like they're doing a really bad job of it. And honestly, that is perfectly fine. It's okay. Be bad at it, but be bad at it consistently is what I say. So dedicate yourself to posting once a day or maybe 3 times a week. Dedicate to your schedule. Even if you don't feel like you are posting amazing content, post it anyway and post it consistently because I promise, one, the more you do it, the better you get at it. And then two, it is authentic and people love that. People really do. They will see your heart and soul in it, see that you're trying, and people will jump on board just because you're being real on the internet. So be consistent, decide what you can do, stick to it, and I promise you will get better as you go. We all have to start somewhere. Just get started. And the last one is to look at other authors who are more successful than you. That is kind of a hard statement to even make. Maybe look at the authors you admire or authors who are doing really well at this one particular thing, because sometimes you can replicate what they're doing and achieve some of the same success that they are. Do know not everything is going to work for everyone. So take that as well with a grain of salt, but feel free to take a look and do an audit of yourself and maybe other authors and their platforms, what they're writing, how they're promoting it, especially their marketing for indie authors. See what's working well for them. Consider trying these things out yourself. I do a lot of tests of things to see what's working. Some of them bomb, some of them do really well for me. But either way, I learned something from it. And especially as indie authors, feel free to reach out to authors because you'd be surprised how quickly they might respond to you and how many of them will respond to you. I cannot tell you, most of what I have learned that has been such a difference maker has been directly from authors themselves when I have gotten bold enough and felt confident enough just to reach out and ask. They love to talk to you, I promise. I love to talk to other authors and readers and brainstorm ideas and share my process. I love to share what I've learned and what's working for me. And I promise other authors, even though they may not be posting directly about that, they also like to do that. So feel free to reach out. I promise you, you'll be surprised by what you might learn. And that's it. I feel like this was a super, super long video, hopefully not too long. I hope it was interesting because reflecting, I don't know. This week I've been really reflective and it's just, I can't believe I've published 10 books. I can't believe I've published 10 books because I'm so focused on the future and all of the books I want to publish and I have planned to publish. So here is to 10 books and to 10 more because I think I have that many ideas. And yes, thank you guys so much for watching to the end of this video. Read books, be kind. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.